Thank you for the beautiful music, and thank everyone for coming. Okay, I'm Emily, for those of you who don't know me. So, there's a board by the stairs over there that always has a question on it. A few weeks ago, the question was, what's the most memorable thing someone has ever said to you? Now here's where the fiction writer in me comes in, because I'm the one who wrote the question. But for the sake of the story, I saw the question and thought, what is the most memorable thing someone has ever said to me? On the board, people post sticky notes with their answers, and every answer made sense as to why that would be the most memorable thing someone ever said to them. Mine, though, doesn't make as much sense from an outside perspective. The most memorable thing someone has ever said to me is, I just wanted to tell you I wasn't yelling at you. Here's where the story starts. I've just turned 15. I'm at a summer drama camp for the second year in a row with the same director, whose name is Sarah. We've had a frustrating day of rehearsing because for some reason, this particular day, most people aren't putting in much effort. Now, for those of you who don't know me, I'm the kind of person who gives 100% every day. Like the person in high school who got the anyone other than Emily have anything to say. Giving 100% might look different for me every day, but every day I am trying my absolute hardest, and this day was no exception. At the end of rehearsal, Sarah gathered everyone on stage, and she yelled at us. And just to be clear, there's the type of person who yells loudly and frantically, and then there's the type of person who yells at a normal volume, in a serious tone, and makes eye contact, and says things like, "You've disappointed me. By not putting forth any effort, you made me feel like I'm not valued." And these people, when they yell, are way more scary than the people who raise their voices. Sarah was the second kind of yeller. So of course, after she gave us that speech, I felt awful, especially because I really liked Sarah. I was about to go home for the rest of the day and think, my best is not enough. I made Sarah feel like we don't appreciate all she does for us. So she dismissed us, and as I was walking out the door, I felt a hand on my shoulder. I turned around, and Sarah said, "Em, I just wanted to tell you I wasn't yelling at you. You did a good job." I was too stunned to really process what had just happened, so I said, "Thank you," and left. But a few days later, after I couldn't stop thinking about what she said, I asked Sarah why she took the time to say that. And she said, "Because I knew you would take it. Because I saw your face." And she made it sound like that was an obvious answer. But looking back, there were dozens of times this had happened in the past with other teachers, and only in retrospect can I see they weren't yelling at me, because nobody had taken the time to say that until Sarah did. And that small act of hospitality stuck with me ever since, and became the most memorable thing someone has ever said to me, because she didn't have to say it, but she did, and it lightened a load I was carrying. The next story is a story I wasn't planning on telling, but I come to Lumen every week, and every week I find myself thinking of this story. So now that it's my turn to speak, I'll tell it. Last summer, my family welcomed a 16-year-old Tibetan boy named Kunsang into our house. My mom had been tutoring him for the past year and decided, through talking with Kunsang and his uncle with whom he was living, that to succeed in school and get onto a college track, he needed to live in a more structured environment. Kunsang and his uncle both agreed, so at the end of the school year, Kunsang moved in with us. Immediately, without a second thought, every member of my family welcomed him into our hearts and into our family. He became our brother the minute he stepped through our front door with his backpack full of clothes. We knew, though, that by no means would this be an easy transition. Kunsang was born in Tibet, which, if you don't know much about what's going on, to say it briefly, is not currently a safe place. His family wanted to give him an opportunity for a better life, so when he was 10 years old, they sent him across the Himalayan mountains with a group of adults he met the day he left with them. This is beyond any sort of experience that I can possibly imagine. I'm pretty good at imagining, but I cannot imagine what this must have been like. For Kunsang to even be standing upright in our kitchen was a testament to his resilience and courage. But, of course, there's a residue that comes from experiences like that. Nothing after that is easy. I mean, and that's putting it in simple language, because there is no language to describe how difficult everything after an experience like that is. Not to mention traveling to a drastically different country alone and learning how to live there. I can only speculate about the causes of what happened next. I'm pretty sure there are many causes, more complex for anyone involved to understand. But after 2 pretty solid months, one day, everything suddenly blew up and Kunsung left, all of a sudden. So suddenly, in fact, that I had left a peaceful home to go to the pool down the street, and when I came back from the pool, he was gone. And we grieved. Of course we grieved. He was our brother, and he ran away. And there was nothing we could do to get him back. We'd done our best, and the conditions just hadn't lined up right. By all of this, what I am trying to say is that sometimes we do a small thing, and a big thing comes of it. And sometimes we do a big thing, and practically nothing comes of it. But all of these things, regardless of the outcome, all of these things are worth doing, every single time. Acts of hospitality are not measured by results. They are measured by intentions. Because every time someone does something with the intention of helping another person, with the intention of making their life a little easier, with the intention of making them more whole, well, to answer that, I'd like to read the ending of a poem I wrote my senior year of high school. The light at the end of the tunnel is a flawed metaphor. There is light within the tunnel. There is light all around, in the most unlikely places. There is light in every person who takes the time to look at you, really look at you, if only for an instant. The light is not at the end of the tunnel. It is not the destination. The light carries you through the tunnel. There is still darkness. There is still a tunnel. It will always be there. But the darkness is part of what makes it worthwhile. The sun is so bright that it hurts to look at it. But the stars, oh, the stars, aren't they beautiful?